We have a shocking New York Knicks trade update as Knicks insider Ian Begley has revealed the New York Knicks plans for the trade deadline involving some names that we have heard before, some we've heard a little bit less of, and just a bunch of potential moves that the New York Knicks could be making to send some guys out and bring some new players in on their path to trying to win an NBA Finals, and we're going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as we usually do. And if you guys are a fan of the channel, make sure to subscribe. 67% if you're part of that group that has not subscribed to Knicks Digest yet, and you guys want daily New York Knicks news, rumor reports, updates on trades like this video, updates on free agency signings. We have one of those coming as well soon. We have a bunch of fun stuff. We got great live streams, very fun YouTube shorts and TikToks. You guys don't want to miss out if you are a New York Knicks fan or really just an NBA fan at all. But let's get into the video now, guys. Let's talk about the New York Knicks. And, well, trade season it's in its prime right now. We've seen Luka Doncic get traded for Anthony Davis in the craziest trade in NBA history. We've seen De'Aaron Fox get moved to the San Antonio Spurs like expected. We've seen former Knick Quentin Grimes get traded for Caleb Martin just a few hours ago. We've seen a bunch of different moves happen already, and the New York Knicks are yet to join in on the fun, but Knicks insider Ian Begley believes that won't be the case for long and that the New York Knicks will soon join in on the fun that is the NBA trade deadline, as the Knicks do have some areas to cover, specifically the big man situation and a potential bench piece that could help the Knicks, specifically when it comes to forwards and guys like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, who do play a heavy amount of minutes, which does have fans worried. Now, taking a look at what Begley said, there was a lot to say, so we're going to have to dive into a lot here. But Begley mentioned that the Knicks have talked to teams about their big men in the weeks and days leading up to the trade deadline. In addition to Washington's Jonas Valanciunas, the Knicks also checked in on Gershon Yabusele in Philadelphia and Daniel Tice in New Orleans. It's worth noting here that Mitchell Robinson cleared a big hurdle on Monday. When he was cleared for full contact practice, Robinson still has to clear several hurdles before he returns to the lineup. He would then presumably need a few weeks to get into game shape/condition, and given that uncertainty, Begley assumes the Knicks will continue to pursue centers via trade, and they will have competition in that trade market. Now, obviously, the Los Angeles Lakers trading their one competent big man in Anthony Davis, who obviously is way more than competent, one of the best players in the NBA, one of the best defenders in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers need a defensive big man, and they have been interested in New York Knicks center Mitchell Robinson, which should not come as a surprise to anyone. Mitch is a defensive stalwart. He's an excellent rebounder, and it's something that the Los Angeles Lakers need a lot right now. The Lakers will certainly contact the Knicks on Mitchell Robinson's price, and we'll see what they offer back, though it'll be some package involving Gabe Vincent, I can already tell you. Now, the Lakers will need to add a little bit more money onto that because Mitchell Robinson makes $14.3 million this season, and, well, the Lakers, they need to match it because, like the Knicks, they're in that specific salary cap area where they can't really take back more money than they're giving out. So that affects the New York Knicks in a way that means Mitchell Robinson will probably not be putting on the purple and gold, at least this season. I'll tell you guys right now, I'm going to show my hand a little bit here. I fully believe Mitchell Robinson is going to get traded over the offseason. I do think he's going to get moved. I think it makes the most sense to move him then when he's got a year left on his contract after he's come back and showed that he's still Mitchell Robinson on the court. And on top of that, I think what we'll see is a version of Mitchell Robinson that teams are going to be interested in, especially with 1 year left, where he has to prove that he can be healthy and a vital part of a contending team. There will be teams that will want to trade for Mitchell Robinson, and the Knicks, knowing that they don't want to pay Mitchell Robinson again, considering they'll have to pay guys like Josh Hart, whose contract will come to an end sooner rather than later, and Mikal Bridges specifically in 2026, the same year that Mitchell Robinson goes to free agency. It's important here to note that Mitchell Robinson very, very likely will get moved during the offseason, but I would be shocked if the Knicks moved him when his value is lower. Now, that doesn't mean the Knicks aren't going to make any trades. They're certainly going to trade Jericho Sims. At least that's my interest in it, or that's my opinion in it, I should say, and everything I've seen and the way that Tom Thibodeau is playing Ariel Hukporti over Jericho Sims is a tell that the Knicks are trading Sims and that they don't want to play him because they don't want him to get injured and for them to screw up their trade plans. Leon Rose certainly has a few trades in mind and probably has trade offers that he has already made just about Jericho Sims, with teams figuring out the details, potentially on making the deal. I think he's going to end up in New Orleans personally, or Memphis I could as well see. But we'll talk about that when that happens, and make sure to subscribe because we will be on that instantly. But we have more to talk about from Begley, who did mention that, well, the Knicks, we know that Jonas Valanciunas is someone who they've been targeting. And Valanciunas puts up 11.5 points per game, 8 rebounds and 2 assists. He's not a good defender, but he's a very good offensive player. He's a very good rebounder. He can hold down the fort well. He can play with Karl-Anthony Towns. He can't really play next to Mitchell Robinson, which makes things really, really interesting. Maybe the Knicks would move Josh Hart to the bench and Mitchell Robinson to the starting 5, so Mitch and Valanciunas can play one at a time because their minutes will get staggered. But I really don't see the Knicks being in as much of need for Jonas Valanciunas as much as a team that, like the Lakers, for instance, might, or even the Grizzlies in trying to bring Valanciunas back using that Brandon Clark contract. I think there's going to be other teams that are just going to be more interested and have the tools and the need to give away more for Jonas Valanciunas than the New York Knicks, at least in this stage of the game when Valanciunas doesn't give the Knicks what they need out of a big man, which is rim protection. I just don't see that being the case, and I do think the Knicks are going to opt to use Mitchell Robinson as their center down the line. Even if they have to wait for him, I think they'll decide that is their best move. I'd be shocked if they didn't. Now, Javonte Green is also someone to keep in mind for the New York Knicks, as the Knicks, they contacted, or they have been interested in Daniel Tice, apparently, but I think it's more likely, considering both of these guys are on $2 million contracts, that the Knicks would trade for Javonte Green using that Jericho Sims contract. Now, either Daniel Tice or Javonte Green, the Knicks would use Jericho Sims, as all these guys do make $2 million, and the Knicks would need to swap it exactly right, or taking in less money. So you get a same $2 million contract in return. Javonte Green fits the Knicks more, putting up 6 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and 1 assist, with 0.6 blocks per game as well. The man is an excellent defender. He's a very hard worker. He shoots 37% from 3, 38% from the corner, and that corner 3 will be an important shot for a guy like Javonte Green, who would be taking minutes from Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby, who take a good amount of corner 3s, specifically Mikal and OG. So I do think that is important to note. I also assume that 46% of his shots being threes would go up with New York, as he'd find himself taking more open corner threes, which is a good thing for the New York Knicks, I might add. He gets over a steal per game as well. The man's just a good defender. He just does everything what you need Javonte Green to do. He fits the Knicks well. He's got that bulldog mentality, hard over height, and he just gives the Knicks a lot of what they could use as another wing. I would love this move personally. I think the Knicks should do everything to trade Jericho Sims for Javonte Green, which honestly shouldn't be that much if we're being real here. Now, there's also Gershon Yabusele, who the New York Knicks are interested in, and, well, he shot 41% on corner threes and 40% from the three-point range, which is the really enticing thing. He's more of a power forward center than anything else, but he puts up 11 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And I'm telling you, this guy could play small forward with the way that he shoots the basketball. He's an elite sniper from 3, takes him on a high enough attempt rate that it does make sense that you could stick him at the small forward and that it could work out pretty well. So that is something important to note. Also, as you could see on Gershon's jersey, why are the 76ers sponsored by Crypto.com when there's the Crypto.com arena where the Lakers play? Very weird. I just wanted to note that because I'll be honest, I just noticed that right now. That's not something I planned on saying, but it is interesting. However, Yabusele's 29 years old, is a win now move. The 76ers are 18 and 27. They're probably not going to win anything this year, so they might as well move Yabu for some assets. I just think that there'd be teams that are offering more. Now, look, sorry, wrong button. There it is. As far as trading Robinson, the Knicks would probably get a paltry return in the trade. The uncertainty surrounding his health diminishes his trade market a ton, and Begley said he would be surprised if the Knicks moved Robinson for a low return, as it doesn't seem like the move their front office has an appetite for. Now, look, here's the thing. The Knicks are not going to move Mitchell Robinson, as I already said, but they could make a few other moves, and we'll go into those moves in 1 second, but it's just important to note that Mitchell Robinson is someone who the Knicks love. They don't feel a pressure to move him, but Ian Begley clearly seems to indicate that the Knicks would like to move on from Robinson at some point, which I think strengthens the case that Robinson will, in fact, be moved over the offseason. I just wanted to cut in and say that very quickly, but to take a look at one final mentioning when it comes to Jericho Sims, Begley did mention that he still thinks the Knicks will find a new home for Sims by Thursday's trade deadline. Sims, a pending free agent, could be traded straight up for Yabusele, but Philly holds Yabusele in high regard and would likely want more in return. And it comes down to this situation where No, how could they do? There's going to be someone who offers more for Yabusele, so that would be the Knicks' problem to have to offer a bunch of second-round picks, and then comes to a matter of would the Knicks want to do that. Now, you look at a few moves. Yes, the Knicks could offer 3 seconds and Jericho Sims for Gershon Yabusele, and the Sixers still might find a better deal out there for Gershon. Teams really like the way that he plays. He's a winner, he's fundamental, and he can play multiple positions and guard multiple positions. He can guard any position in the front court, and he's just a good rebounder. He's just a good player. There's no way around it. He's a great player. I really feel like he's going to get moved for more than what the Knicks can offer. Now, the Knicks also can move Jericho Sims for Javonte Green. They could use a second-round pick to sweeten the deal, and they should absolutely do this to get Javonte Green. I've explained the reasons why enough that we don't really need to go through it. At the time, the Knicks also, if they really want to just get this Mitchell Robinson thing over with, they can give a few second-rounders and then also at the same time try to acquire Justin Champagnie, who they could bring onto their team, along with cutting enough space open, where at all this time, what the Knicks would also be doing is they'd still have 15 players on the roster. They'd move Mitchell Robinson and Boo Bui for Jonas Valanciunas and Justin Champagnie, while the Knicks give 3 second-round picks to bring in a young guy like Champagnie who's very talented, and at the same time, Jonas Valanciunas, who is healthy. So the Knicks give some seconds away to get this done. They take Champagnie off a two-way. They sign him to a full contract. And then what the Knicks do, having 15 guys, they can decide to move Jericho Sims for more cap space and then not be near that second apron. And they could stop worrying about that, which would be a huge success as well. So this is a very interesting trade in my book because it frees up the Knicks to make more moves, especially if they made this a day or two before the trade deadline. They could try to find a way to make some other moves as well. Or they could just move Jericho Sims for another $2 million player, or even someone they could waive. The Knicks are interested in a few guys who have been released from their contracts in a video that I said is coming soon, so it's important to note that that's the video I'm talking about. You guys might be able to get ahead of me on which 2 guys those are, but we'll talk about that when the time comes. On top of this, if the Wizards don't want to give up Champagnie, which is a stretch, if the Knicks were able to pull that off, that'd be awesome, because he's a New Yorker and he's very good. If they didn't, the Knicks would still be able to move Mitch in 2 seconds for Valanciunas, which is around the going rate for Valanciunas. I imagine Valanciunas is going to end up on the Lakers, if we're being honest. I think the Lakers are going to forego playing defense and just try to see if going all offense can work for a year, while trying to convince LeBron James to lengthen his career to play with Luka Doncic, something that I think will be successful, but also I'm a massive LeBron James fan, so I might just be rooting for LeBron to stick around for longer. But guys, let me know what you think. Can Leon Rose pull this off? Let me know in the comments down below. What should the Knicks do? Give me your trades at the trade deadline if there are any. Let me know what you would do as Leon Rose. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, make sure to leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. Have a great day, and go Knicks.